Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. We're talking a little bit about WWE SummerSlam 2019, one of the big matches that's on there. Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. This, honestly, in my mind, should be one of the big matches that gets a lot of people fired up about SummerSlam, and I think it's just sort of hung out there in the middle. Kevin Owens, probably one of the most exciting guys on the WWE roster, was really hot for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, coming out and basically saying the things that a lot of wrestling fans had said about Shane McMahon. If you go back to that Crown Jewel Best in the World tournament where he filled in for The Miz and beat Dolph Ziggler in the finals of the Cup. He was then able to call himself the best in the world. Then he became a tag team with The Miz, where he would turn on The Miz. You know, that was a long damn time ago. And it seemed like, when he won that cup, a lot of people thought that he was going to go in a different direction, where he was to become one of the biggest heels on the planet, and he was just going to be calling everybody out. He was just going to sort of be visible a lot on SmackDown, but it seemed like that guy was just gone the second he won that thing, and he'd pop up every once in a while. Then it turned into a babyface tag team with The Miz, where they ended up winning the tag team titles. That was supposed to make it where The Miz's dad would believe in The Miz again. The Miz is the guy that's main evented WrestleMania. The Miz is the guy who beat John Cena at WrestleMania. But all of a sudden, Shane and The Miz winning the tag titles against, I don't even remember who they beat. It's supposed to make the Miz's dad proud. It just didn't make any sense. Owens versus Shane is a match that we saw in a Hell in the Cell match just a few years ago. This, of course, now going down to just being a normal match with the babyface and the heel title just flip-flopped. This is supposed to be Shane McMahon's exit from television. Everybody can remember his return at WrestleMania 32. Since then, basically, he wrestled The Undertaker. He was the special guest referee of a Kevin Owens versus AJ match. He was involved in some of the SummerSlam tags. Besides for being the commissioner and coming out and promising with the authority and the McMahons that back in December they were going to make wrestling better again, Shane's return, other than, popping a few fans, hasn't really been a whole lot. It's not even really defined what Shane's role in the company is, Everybody's basically counting down the days until Vince, rides off into the sunset and retires. Did Shane come back mainly because his China pay-per-view deal company didn't really pan out the way he did? Did Shane come back because he needed a job? I don't really know. I mean, did Vince just think that Shane was the missing piece that was going to make the McMahons whole again, which made WWE better? Because as of right now, I mean, before Vince left the first time, Vince had Shane in charge of WWE.com, and he made sure that the website was set up the way they wanted. They were presenting the stories they wanted to be presented. And since coming back, Shane really hasn't moved into that role. Shane really isn't involved with anything of creative, and he just kind of was just a character. I mean, he's got to be doing something, but I don't really know what it is. But everybody has presumed that Stephanie and Triple H are the ones that are being groomed to take over Vince's job. Triple H is in the office and making a lot of moves, while Stephanie's, is he chief brand officer or something like that? I'm not sure what it is, but all in all, I think that when it comes down, this is going to be a match that just nobody really remembers in the long run. This is supposed to be, Kevin Owens being, every couple of years we think, this is the time that Kevin Owens is going to get shot to that main event spot in WWE. He's been a former Universal Champion where he carried that belt through a time when he didn't really have a true main eventer, and he carried Monday Night Raw for a long time until dropping the belt to Goldberg, who dropped the belt to Brock. And since then, unless it's been like in a six-man tag, or not six-man tag, but like some sort of six-pack challenge or some fatal four-way on Monday Night Raw, I can't even think of him being in the title hunt to go after that title. So it's just kind of like, I don't think they've lost hope in him or lost faith in him or anything like that, but it's just he's stuck in a holding pattern like a lot of guys are, that just WWE doesn't know what to do with all these guys. It's almost like they got so much talent, they don't know what to do with it. So I got Owens winning the match, and maybe Shane disappearing backstage for a while. But I don't really know how this... I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin even came out, and Austin said that he doesn't think that Kevin Owens is the next Stone Cold in WWE. So, I mean, if anybody's going to be, giving you a push and a pat on the back to get you a rub to move to the top, it'd be a guy like that. But if a guy like that's not even really backing you, saying that this guy's going to make a change, you go back in the day. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin had an ROH Kevin Steen on the podcast because Kevin Steen wrote him a letter saying that he wouldn't be in the wrestling business if it wasn't for Stone Cold. He wouldn't have stayed in the wrestling business if it wasn't for an interaction with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I believe at a Montreal airport where Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens ran in to Stone Cold and got just a moment of advice from him. And Austin probably doesn't even remember that ever happening. He probably gets asked that by people that are trying to be in the wrestling business, almost every day, I would bet. So it's stuck with Kevin Owens. I don't know who the main guy who's going to save WWE is, but as of right now, it doesn't really look like they got that guy. I know they gave Owens a chance with the ball, but maybe Kevin Owens as a babyface is somebody that they want to get behind. Maybe he's able to beat Shane and then maybe go after the Universal Championship, which is a little hard right now because Kofi as a babyface is holding that, and Kofi already beat Kevin Owens just a few months ago in a one-off right before WrestleMania, I believe at Fastlane. So maybe there's a chance Orton wins the belt and we can have Orton versus Owens. I don't see that happening, but I'm hoping that they got a plan of where they're going for this.